Hey guys, John Conley here from UncleJohnSoap.com. In our little group called It's Just Shaving on Facebook, we I guess somebody started doing like weekly challenges, not challenges, how-tos and tutorials and stuff like that. Last week was shavette tutorials, different styles of shavettes, and people would use them and talk about them. And I don't use a shavette, so I really didn't participate. But this week is lathering, because everybody's got their own style, and each soap sometimes will require a slightly different way to lather it. But I'm going to go over what to do with one of my soaps tonight. Tonight, we're using Fougere by me. Anyway, and I don't know, just felt like a Fougere kind of night. And you can see it's well used. I load right from the jar. I'll be using my Rockwell 6S tonight. And this cool new brush I've gotten. I got this Thursday in the mail, I believe. And this is by Haircut and Shave Company. Not sure. Not even, yeah, I'm holding it up right. Maybe you can see that. Maybe it'll focus. Maybe it won't. Anyway, but it's cool. It's a tuxedo knot, synthetic, in a polished aluminum handle, and it goes really well with the Rockwell razors with this knurling on it and stuff. So it's a little hefty, but I enjoy it. And I have not bloomed the soap. Some guys will put a little water on top, let it sit while they're prepping and everything, let it soften up. My stuff is just pliable enough that I don't think you really need it. So anyway, I got the brush wet a few minutes ago and just kind of shake the excess water out. Of course, I've been told don't load down here like this out of view of the camera because it looks perverted. So I'll try to hold this up and see how it goes. Sorry if I keep looking off. Phone cameras, that's a problem. The screen's over here. So my eye wants to draw right to the screen instead of to you guys. So sorry about that. Anyway, not bloomed, wet brush. Now if you're using a badger brush, a boar, a horsehair, any natural bristle, generally speaking, you want to soak it for a little bit first, you know, in a mug up to here, or get it wet, really wet, saturated to begin with, and just set it off to the side. I let mine sit kind of on the side of the sink, just sopping wet, and I'll re-wet it a couple times because I don't always have a mug around. So it's damp. My only goal right now is I'm going to load the soap into the bristles because I'm going to lather on my head. So 15 to 30 second load. Hold it upright so the stuff doesn't come out. Not really counting. And I don't see the video counter. Oh, there it is. 30 might be too long. You know, I know back in the day with puck soaps, a lot of times they would put a little water in the mug and let the soap soften up and then whip up the lather right in the mug. And it sort of does that in the jar. And that's plenty. So, and you know, I usually try to scoop a little bit out like that. Set the brush on the side, wet my noggin. So, like I said, every soap and cream and glycerin soap, tallow soap, vegetable-based soap, they're all roughly the same, but sometimes it depends on who the maker is as to how it's going to act when it's lathered. So, you know, it's just a matter of experimentation, you know, seeing what's going to work for you with, you know, do you have hard water? Do you have soft water? We're on city water here, and it's kind of middle of the road. It's not real soft. It's not real hard. I mean, I don't get like rust stains or anything in my sinks or cast iron tubs, so it's a decent water quality. So for you guys that are shaving your face, it's the same thing for your head, really. It's really no different. You're going to make sure it's wet. Whatever you do for prep, if you use like a lotion, if you use a pre-shave oil or anything like that, you know, do your thing. But for me, most of the time it's pretty plain. I just get my head wet and make sure it's good and wet when I start. Loaded the soap in the brush. The lather actually gets worked up on your head. Sorry about the camera angle. This bathroom is kind of a small room. So I'm just basically scrubbing it all the way around where the hair is going to get shaved. Swirl it, scrub it, paint it on. Now there's also, wow, got lather everywhere. There's also different types of soap in that some of the soap makers make a soap that you need very little water for. It just kind of whips right up. My soaps tend to be very thirsty, which means they'll hold a ton of water. And some of them, depending on the fragrance that I put in, because I think that has a lot to do with it, will be softer than others. Some will need more water than others. If it feels sticky at all to you, like you've gotten to this stage and it feels like it might be a little tacky or a little thick, don't be afraid to add more water, especially to my stuff. It'll hold more water than you think. Just when you think you're done with water, you can splash a little bit more in your bristles like I just did. I just kind of scooped a little bit and let it drizzle in there and go right back at it. And it'll keep building. If you keep messing with it for a few minutes, it'll keep building the lather. Oh, nice. Now I know I'm getting old. I'm getting an arm flop. That's cool. Not. So anyway, I don't try. I don't know if any of you guys watch Jared Stein. He, in the Facebook group Live in 5, they do a lot of live shave videos there. That man works up a lather like you wouldn't believe. I think he loads half a tub worth of soap in his brush. And he loves it, man. He has fun just doing that, just building lathers. For me, I'm pretty utilitarian. A little messy, but... and as long as it's slick and I'm totally covered, then I'm fine. That's it. That's all there is to building a lather. So some guys want a lot of cushion. They want it not airy, but just thicker. Me, as long as it's got decent coverage and it's slick, I'm fine. Wet my blade a little bit here. Try to do this without cutting myself. Tonight I'm using a fresh Dorco Prime blade. I got myself. That's the blue packaging. It's actually the last one I have here at the house. I enjoy the Dorco Primes. I think they're a good blade. I don't know how well you guys can see. Like I said, I don't have a real mount for my camera for the bathroom because there's no good way to mount it in here. And if I mount it on the mirror in front of me, you won't see anything because it'll be right here. I don't have traditional, I shouldn't say traditional, I don't have a vanity where it kind of forces you back and the mirror is a good distance away. We have, this is a wall-mounted sink, an old cast iron wall-mounted sink, and upstairs we have a pedestal sink. So, and upstairs is even worse with the camera angle because our medicine cabinet's about 4 inches deep and it's surface mounted. So, yeah, not real conducive to videos, but I'll do them once in a while. So yeah, and you know, once you start running the blade on your face or your head, you'll know pretty quick if the soap's going to be slick enough for you. And if it's not, just add some water to your brush and go right back at it. Start working the lather again. I just hit a bump right on my head. Fantastic. And that's not the lather, that's me being an idiot because I knew better. Ed Munoz will enjoy this. He likes when I draw blood. it's Sunday night now, shooting this video. It won't get uploaded until Monday, because that's when I'm assigned to do my lather video. There's really not that much to say about lathering, I guess. I may be making a lot of assumptions in that. And if you're new at it, you know, jump on some of the Facebook groups or YouTube. YouTube's one of your best friends. Sorry about the noise. I gotta run this for a second. Yeah, I mean, you can find out anything on YouTube, but everybody's got a different style. And if you look up how to lather shave soap, there's a ton of resources out there. And but basically, it's a little bit of trial and error. Oh yeah, lathered right up into my collar. Normally when I'm not on camera, I don't have a shirt on. It makes things a little easier. But I don't think you guys want to see man boobs. And forgive me if I'm mumbling. You get in these tiny rooms and you start talking to a camera, you feel like you're yelling. So when I go to edit this, if I need to, I'll turn the volume up a little bit on it. So I got myself in 3 spots. I'll make that 4. Thanks. And as you can see, a few nicks will never kill you. It is what it is. Alright, let me rinse. We'll go for pass 2. Yeah, they'll heal up pretty quick. Alright. Same lather. I haven't done anything to it while I was off camera or anything. Head's wet because I just rinsed it. So, honestly, I probably could have loaded a little bit less soap. I only do 2 passes most of the time. Once in a while I feel like I need to clean up, but I never go for the elusive BBS, Baby Butt Smooth shave. I find that I tend to irritate myself more when I do that, and I don't think it's necessary. When I'm shaving my face, I try to go a little smoother on my neck than normal, but I haven't done that in a while and I don't plan to. So, although once I get done, I've been letting the beard bush out a little bit for the fall competitions, and when I trim it up, I'll probably shape this some, just to be different, I guess, than I've had it. That's it, guys. You just want decent coverage and you want it to be slick. And most soaps are slick. Most artisan-made soaps are going to be nice and slick. Some of the store-bought stuff, the less expensive. Now, I have no experience with Parasso, but like Arco's nice and slick, but I find that my scalp feels dry afterwards. I don't know. There's something about it. I actually like the smell. A lot of other guys don't. Hope you're not squeamish. Raking up some blood from this cut in the back here. That's alright. I have a very high pain threshold, except for dentistry. That lady pulls that little hook out to scrape my teeth. She better be giving me Novocaine first. Just realized I just did both sides different. This side I went up, this side I came out. Yeah, it's all good. Another thing, whether you're lathering or talking about just shaving, different razors, different techniques, the most important thing to remember about shaving is don't ever take it too seriously. Too many people get into this stuff and then they get into it as a hobby, which I've done. I've been bitten by the bug. You know, I mean, I didn't need another brush, but I saw this thing and it was so cool. And Aji, I don't know, I'm going to butcher his last name. I think it's Sanjoya, but if you look up Haircut and Shave Company on on Amazon, they sell a lot of stuff on Amazon. You'll find his stuff. But yeah, I got bit by the bug and started collecting things. But like I said, so many people get so serious about it. Whether it's razors, brushes, soaps. You know, some guys want nothing but top end, expensive stuff. Some guys want nothing but utilitarian and drugstore stuff, which that's cool. I use a lot of drugstore aftershaves. Love them. A lot of it's memories for me, you know, nostalgia. So I can dig it. But, you know, when somebody else has a different opinion, don't be a jackass. They're allowed to have their opinion just like you're allowed to have yours. You don't all have to like the same things. But the bottom line is, do you. Be happy for other people, even if it isn't your cup of tea, and just have fun. I mean, I just hacked the hell out of my head and I'm still having fun. So another thing about lathering, some guys are, I don't know if they're germaphobes, but they definitely don't want to contaminate their shave soap jar by putting water in it. You know, a lot of water, even municipal water, whatever, you know, it has minerals in it and things like that, different additives. And I guess they think, and it might be true, that the soap gets a little funky. Soap gets a little weird after it ages anyway, especially handmade soaps. Bar soaps, same way. Their scent sort of disappears after a while. They get sort of a yellowish tinge to them. And so if you don't want to contaminate your soap, or you want, you know, you're not sure you're going to like it, so you might want to resell it on the buy, sell, and trade groups, or, you know, on Reddit or whatever, then one of the things you can do is some guys keep a little spoon around just for, or something. They make a scraper out of something, and they'll have a bowl for working up their lather, or a mug, and they'll scrape a little bit out so they're not putting their hands in there. Scrape a little bit of soap out. Like, you know, I go a little heavy, so I do like a quarter diameter, like a 25-cent piece, and I don't know how thick. You know, not quite as much as this toothpaste cap. So maybe half of that. Smush it in the bottom of the bowl, wet your brush, and start working it up. That way, if you don't care for the scent, or eventually you have too many things laying around, you want to trade up, do whatever, then you'll be able to do that with good conscience and say, yes, I've used some soap, but I've never touched it with my hands or my brush. So creams are a little easier. You can scoop them out and do the same thing. Smush them in a bowl. You can dab it right on the end of your brush and then whip up the cream right on your face or head or in a bowl. No label, because I'm lazy with my own stuff when I make it in the shop. I'll usually make myself a little 2-ounce bottle because I always switch up and I don't want to take up a ton of room, but we use a witch hazel base. So our aftershaves come out white looking when they're shaken up. And this is the Fougere matching, which is rare. I don't usually use matchy match aftershaves, you know, the same scent from the same brand. I like to mix it up. You know, like we just made that chocolate cake scented soap for It's Just Shaving for this same group. And, you know, one night I'll use the B&M Reserve Spice. Another night I'll use Aqua Velva Musk. One night with that I used British Sterling. That one's a little different. The other pairings I liked. British Sterling was okay, but nothing to write home about. All right, guys, that's about it. If you got any questions, leave me a comment down below. If you're seeing this on Facebook, same thing. You can leave me a comment where I post it. And, you know, I can really only answer most of the questions about my soaps that I make. You know, other soaps, I kind of treat them all the same way. You know, I start out a little bit light with the water because you can always add water. A little harder to take it back out. I will say, though, if it's a little too light and airy for you, the one thing that I've learned is to keep working at it. So if I'm starting to lather up and it's a little bubbly and a little airy and it feels like it's not going to add much protection, one thing I was always kind of taught and told, can't speak, is to just keep working at it, and it'll eventually kind of work itself out. It'll thicken up a little bit as you work it with the brush. So, you know, it might take you an extra couple minutes, but it's worth it for a decent shave. Other than my bloodletting here tonight, have fun with it. Relax. That's why I like night shaving, because most of the time I can take my time and I don't cut myself this bad, except today. And that's it. All right, guys. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll get it back to you as soon as I can.